Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts or Extended Thoughts if you're my Ruzu. Haha, inside jokes always go over well in videos, don't they? Anyway, I just wanted to say before we get into the episode, I'm recording this the same day I found out about the KyoAni news. And I know that's that's a significant down note to start the video on, but it's important, and I feel like I should probably say that's why I may seem sort of mixed up or a little down. It's also why there's no Astra video today. I found out this morning, and then I had to go to work, and it was on my mind like the entire day. And I got home, and I was like, normally I as soon as I get home from work, all I want to do is work on videos. But today I was sort of like I couldn't bring myself to do it. I was doing anything else but working on videos. I was just mainly like I couldn't get out of this loop of like I kept refreshing Twitter. Like I had to know like what happened. I had to know like if everything was okay, and it just sort of really mixed me up. And I could only really get one video done today because it's sort of late by the time I'm recording this. And I picked Given, not because I like one more than the other, although I kind of do. Guess which one it is. But also just because Astra, I already covered episode 2 of Astra, so I feel like it's fair to give episode 2 of Given the shot, or the coverage instead. Not to say that I'm not going to be covering Astra anymore, it's just Given was the one I chose. And sorry if you were excited about the Astra video, I will be back next for the next episode for sure. But yeah, also, if you haven't considered like helping KyoAni out, or you haven't done so yet, you can either do the GoFundMe thing that I believe Sentai Filmworks is created, and that is fine. But I would also recommend maybe checking out the KyoAni shop. Any purchase on there goes directly to KyoAni themselves. I would recommend buying some digital prints. It's super easy for them. It's basically I think it's like $2 American, and you get like a little digital print from whatever KyoAni show you so choose. But yeah, so that's kind of where my head's at. So I may be sort of down this episode. Again, it's not a knock against Given. It's just sort of where my head's at, and yeah, my thoughts are with KyoAni in a big bad way. But we gotta talk about Given now. So we gotta bring the energy back up. But yeah, let's talk about Given. Sorry. So I'm gonna continue the trend that I started the last few videos, where instead of going from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, I thought it might be a little bit more fun to talk about the good, talk about the bad, and then maybe just some stuff worth noting. And I want to say too that they really the first thing I noticed in this episode is that they really nailed this clueless but still excited feeling. The sort of nature of being totally unaware of where to even begin, but like really excited to jump into it when it comes. And what I mean is in the sense of learning a new instrument. I'm not a guitar guy personally, but I do play the ukulele, and I friggin' love it. And I started playing ukulele because I wanted to work my way up to a guitar. Like I had heard like, okay, well maybe if you want to start playing ukulele first, you can play a guitar afterwards. And I ended up kind of just preferring the ukulele. Like I did later go on to try to play guitar, but I just enjoyed the sound of the ukulele more. It just played more to my musical preference, I guess. Not even musical preference. I think it just sounded more like me, so I stuck with the ukulele. That said, I really relate to Sato. I get where he's coming from, where he's he's completely clueless about the guitar, but he's still excited to learn. He has a passion for it. He really wants to keep going. That's sort of how I was with the ukulele. And if this video gets 1,000 views, then maybe, just maybe, we'll do a ukulele stream, and I will make your ears bleed with my terrible ukulele skills. But yeah, 1,000 views and we'll do a ukulele stream. How about that? The other good thing I want to mention about the episode as well is the comedy. Like the comedy in the show, it just feels very natural, especially like when it's bouncing off the cast. Because the thing is, it feels less like, like intentional comedy, like written for the show. Like one of the characters says something somewhat perverted and another character gets angry, or somebody says something stupid and the characters fall over, and that's in that weird like anime trope nonsense. It's not like that. The comedy in here feels very natural, very calm, very real, very genuine, which is, I think, the thing I keep saying about Given is that it feels very real. And the interaction between the characters is where basically all the comedy lies. And the reason it works is because it feels honest. It feels like a group of pals giving each other a hard time just as like a goof. Like, especially like when Haruki has that line of like, what do you think of the new riff? And Yuen Oyama's just like, yeah, no, it sounds good. And he looks over at Kaji and he's like, well? And Kaji's like, just stares at him and then, it's really good. And he's like, oh, that's not funny. Like just little moments like that where it's like, he's like, they're giving each other a hard time, but you know, it's out of a place of like friendship. They're giving each other a hard time because that's what friends do. Friends pick on each other, but not in like a malicious way, in sort of a goofy way. And that's definitely what I get from the band. The band feels like a group of friends, and they may not know every little detail about each other's lives, but they care very deeply about each other, and they like making fun of each other at the same time. And again, the show continues to feel much more real than any other show that's airing right now, showing that the gang actually needs part-time jobs just to keep the band around. And like, yeah, most bands, like especially bands that are like where half the bandmates are still in high school and the other half are in college. I don't know how to break this to y'all, but bands are expensive. Being in a band is not cheap, especially if you actually want to play shows and practice. Not everybody has a parent's garage to practice in, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you need, practice space. Sometimes you need to keep up with your equipment. You need to make sure that everything's running smooth. You need to book shows. All of that costs money. And what do you got to do? How do you get money? You work a part-time job, and that's what the boys do. And especially Kaji, who is proving to be probably the most responsible of the bunch, and also probably the most perceptive. He's the one who really sort of broke down Yuen Oyama way before Haruki does in this episode. It seems like Kaji just has a better read on the band. Well, maybe not so much Sato, because Sato himself really does continue to be a sort of enigma to the group. Like he's still sort of different. Like Yuen Oyama even says, like, I don't get this guy. Like he's picking up on playing the guitar incredibly faster than he would have imagined, but at the same time it's just strange that a newbie would have this particular guitar. And again, like I'm not a big guitar guy, right? I'm more of a ukulele guy, so I wasn't super sure when they started listing off when they started explaining like the different type of guitar that each member has. And that was like when Yuen Oyama is like saying, oh, you have this guitar, I have this kind of guitar. I was like, I don't know what that means. But just the way that he spoke about it, it was clear that Sato's guitar is very much not for a beginner. So it does add this sort of layer to Sato, because he is a character who comes across as very like not flighty, sort of like he comes off sort of like a puppy. Like he's just sort of like fascinated by everything, and his mind tends to wander really quick, and he's sort of just quiet and fun and pleasant to be around. But he does have this air to him he has an air of mystery, a man of mystery, Sato is. But it's I don't know, it really keeps the show interesting, since it's not always about the band, it's also about how did Sato get that guitar? Why is he so adamant about playing music? What is this connection between him and Yuen Oyama? It's love. It's love. The connection is love. And it's love because the episode, I believe, is pretty much titled It Feels Like Falling in Love. And I'm pretty sure Yuen Oyama fell in love with Sato the instant he heard the man's voice. And I almost did too, because Sato's voice, my goodness, somebody praise that Seiyu, because they knocked it out of the friggin' park. I was genuinely really surprised when Sato's Seiyu, Shogo Yano, ended up actually really nailing the performance, especially given that when it comes to music anime, not only does the band matter, the singer matters as well. And it can really make or break a series for a lot of people. Like, I know for a lot of folks, a lot of friends of mine that aren't like hardcore anime fans, but still enjoy anime, they had a really hard time getting into something like Beck, since they didn't enjoy the singing in Beck as much as they probably should have. With this, I feel like I could show them this scene and they'd still be impressed with Shogo Yano's performance as Sato, because the voice acting, or rather the singing in this case, is really friggin' good. Good enough to make the audience think that Uenoyama cried, because I did think he was crying for a second. I was like, okay, that's a little bit much. But it was just him sweating because he was shocked that Sato has like the voice of an angel. And he immediately asked him to join the band, which I read as please marry me. Because I am shipping trash, and I will not apologize for that. When it comes to negatives, though, for the episode, honestly, I don't really have any. I suppose some folks might be a little annoyed at the relatively slow pace of the episode, but to me, I feel like that sort of works for the show's benefit. The slower pace, again, makes it feel more real, and real is the key word here. But, like every good anime should do, every slice of life anime, it takes real situations, and while it makes it feel real, it uses the art form of anime to make real a little bit more lively, a little bit more exciting, adds a little bit of flair to it. Everything should be an anime, in my opinion. But yeah, everybody, that's gonna wrap up my thoughts on today's episode of Given, episode 2 of Given. Overall, I would be happy to give this episode a solid grade of A. It was really friggin' impressive. With that said, everybody, I'm gonna go edit this video and then just, kind of keep myself preoccupied. It's been a heavy day. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, by all means, sharing the video around on the internet and hitting that like button, why, that would be super rad of you. And if you're new here and you want to check out more from me, then by all means, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join the good ones. Now, as always, before we go, I have to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Dominic, Urza, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Omner Garamond, Opinionated Slime, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Tristan, and Veridon. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Please, if you have the funds, consider supporting KyoAni in kind of this dire strait that they're in. And my thoughts and prayers are with them. And yeah, until our next meeting, you guys stay rad and don't scary.